In the last episode, I bought the gold Dodge Ram that had come back from SEMA only to be stolen in an attempted insurance scam that made headline news across Canada. This came at a fraction of its original price with one big catch. It had been stripped and left for dead in a ditch. In this episode, we begin the process of rebuilding it better than ever, taking the truck in a direction big trucks have never been while also helping resuscitate a beloved subculture. This is not gonna be just another SEMA build. It's been a full year since I bought the gold truck. It has done nothing other than just sit around, which sucks. But that is because I have been waiting for another truck that has either been rolled, burnt, or shot, or whatever it happens to be. And in this case, it is rolled. I have finally found my parts truck that I've been waiting for so long for, and it is getting loaded out right now. We are at the auction, and it is a 5th gen Ram, so this is gonna get a full upgrade. I was hoping to get to it earlier than this, but I mean, I needed the parts. A year is how long it took. Oh, buddy, I see it way over there. I see a smushed roof. Oh, I'm excited. Pretty much nothing is good on this truck except for the front end, which is everything that I need. And I should be able to sell the axles and the wheels and the engine, all that sorts of stuff for, you know, more than I paid for it. So that's a free front end, baby.
This is basically free.
But you look at that. Oh, man, I'm so excited. I said that about 50 times. Dope. Thank you very much. I need those brakes. I need those drive shafts. Ooh, it's got airbags back there. Would you look at that?
Look at that. Look at that.
A little bit of work here, but this is all minor. Like all the cooling, all the structural, everything for this front end is right here. We are currently trying to unload it, and we have no brakes, so we can't stop. And we've got no steering because the steering arm snapped off of the pitman arm there. We don't really want to send it careening into traffic and then maybe knocking out a fire hydrant. So what we're going to do is slowly sending that down off of the forklift and then whipping the forklift around on the other side and then sending it inside and then stripping this truck. We are taking this truck completely apart. There's going to be nothing left. Most of it's going to go to the metal yard, and what we need we're going to keep for the gold truck, obviously, and then the rest of it is going to go on Kijiji Facebook Marketplace as parts. Doing good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We have got a large chunk of the front end stripped off. This looks pretty good here. All of this important stuff is all good. So we're basically going to be chopping it here and then removing everything here. We're going to put all of that onto the 4th gen. So I know I'm pretty excited too, Rusty. We're going to try to get this engine running because it's worth a lot more if it's running than if it is an unknown.
Money to my ears. I mean, music.
Stripping has gone very well. We have separated the cab from the rest of the chassis, and here is the money. I can sell this for pretty much what I bought all of this for. And we got lots of good stuff here. Just bought a bunch of totes. So I'm gonna package all this up and put it upstairs there, sell this off and keep what we have and what we need and put it all in the gold truck, and bing, bang, boom, we're ready to roll. Here we've got 5th gen badness, and here we've got some 5th gen goodness. So this is gonna be the front end. Has rivets holding it in here. Basically just drill them all out, cut it out, peel this whole front end off here. It's actually wider than the 4th gen. The 4th gen, these arms come in at an angle, and that's gonna go in there. It's just gonna look great. Here we have the final condition of the cab. It is now a speedster. You know, it's how they should have come in the first place, obviously. Just hop right in there. It's actually pretty awesome. It is not quite what it was before, but we've got everything good off of there. I also went and picked up a new box here. That's gonna be going on the gold truck because obviously this one here was no good. More thorough look through of what we actually have. That's it. Check out the 2nd gen dually. I wonder if that still has its Cummins in it. There is a chance, believe it or not. That is quite sad. There goes the box. He's hungry. Bring in the clamps. Clamps! Send in the clamps. Oh God. Yeah, no structural support there. Okay. Okay, that's working. Wow. Oh my God. I would have thought those doors would have ripped off. That's rather impressive. Get her done. Oh my God. New box installed. Back from SEMA, and we are finally bringing the gold truck into the shop, which means we get to shovel a couple of feet of snow off of the trailer and a couple of feet of snow off the gold truck. It's been waiting there for a year and a half or so for this. It's alive!
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Need to calm down.
You're supposed to have a bunch of snow inside your SEMA truck. That's it's good for it, you know. It's lubricates it, keeps that interior nice and lubricated. Sure. Front end is stripped off of it. Got these skeleton arms. I'm not exactly certain what they're called, but they're attached to the cab and not the frame, and they are pulled off. You gotta chisel it from the back, but no big deal. Get that off, and we've got the new mounts on. The way that Kale figured out that these guys went on, weren't completely certain in the spot, but the 5th gen frame rails that we chopped off are the same, minus a couple different holes, but for the most part, those are the same, so you can just line up where it came off of here and then put it onto there. So we've got that 5th gen piece, and now the front end is gonna go over top of it from that 5th gen that was rolled, and we're gonna hopefully line up perfectly, 0 panel gaps.
He's obviously still delusional.
If you look in here, there is some pretty decent damage. These bags here are not only cracked, but also have some big holes in them. And the arms are both flipped down. If you've seen any photos of it from before, when it went to SEMA in 2019, it had this traction bar going this way, and then that one going that way.
Upside down?
Yes, sir!
I found out through a Facebook DM that just before SEMA 2019, the small adjustable control arms were lost in shipping. So the front arms had to be flipped in order to make the truck work well enough to fulfill the requirements of the sponsors to get it to the show that year. Then, before getting replacement arms and under a month after SEMA, the owner of the suspension company, Scott, was physically assaulted, ending with him landing in a coma. And just a week after that, he passed away, leaving behind his wife and daughter. His company Arcworks was put on pause, but while researching this video, I found out it has since been brought back by his family and friends, who are once again offering lift kits for purchase, so check them out.
Woo! That was unexpected.
Just like I did with Chainsmoker, I'm taking a video now and saying that although I enjoy the adventure, I cannot wait until this is done and I get to sit back and look at this truck and just say, wow, can't believe we actually built that. 5th gen front end is coming together. Gaps need to be worked on a little bit, but we've now got the cooling and the core support and these arms, and now the fenders mounted to them. So this is a big step. It's looking awesome. We've also got these suspension arms flipped down here. So now they're actually the way that they're supposed to be. The truck looks so much better, but it's gonna need new links from here. Gonna have to cut into this so that it fits. If you look in here where the transmission brace is, the arm is almost touching it. But I do see a end in sight for these arms, and it's gonna look great. Now we're finally doing this the way that it was supposed to be done, and plus a lot more.
Mess up! Come on, mess up!
The 4th gen to the 5th gen is the only generation change that they kept the same cab. It will just genuinely look like a 5th gen. A little bit lazy on their part, because they just got to reuse a bunch of parts, but I'm not complaining. And hoping that by the time I'm posting this, I am in a different location, so I don't really get in trouble. This is the truck, and this is my shop, and then this is my studio apartment. Yeah, well, you know, it's just, it is what it is. And then behind that, I got a little kitchen area. Dogs like it. I don't mind. Wake up every morning and get to work. That's what it is.
You live here in the building?
Oh, yeah, yes, I do live here in the building.
Bye!
Come on, Kale, what's going on, bud? What are we up to?
We're trying to make these arms look right, and it's not really possible with the way they were initially designed. So let the cutting begin.
Explain to me what is happening with the suspension here. Why are so many trucks at SEMA without a front drive shaft? Another year, another Bluetooth drive shaft. Number 21. 22. What needs to be done in order to make this front drive shaft work?
Well, I think in order to get the correct pinion angle on this front end and be able to run a front drive shaft that's not going to bind and completely come apart, obviously we have to point the pinion up at the transfer case as much as we can. But then we're starting to mess with our caster angles, which is basically your upper ball joint compared to your lower ball joint. And in a factory setting, you want caster like this, positive caster. For steering stability, it's for all kinds of things. But if you look then, we have a really bad pinion angle. So if we put the pinion kind of pointed up where we want, we're actually going to negative caster, which is like a shopping cart, and that's not necessarily good.
So then if you hit some speed, it's gonna go.
Well, zero caster is your least amount of stability. Negative caster does have stability. It actually has good steering characteristics, but going straight down the road, the wheel might try to do things that we don't want it to do.
And that's what some SEMA trucks do when they're not built properly, and we don't want this truck to fit in that category. Quick intermission for some snow bike donuts. Anybody ever seen a snow bike with a dirt bike front tire on it? That's sick. Woohoo!
Snow bikes are good for all seasons.
Made some progress up front. We actually figured out how we can make these front arms work, or at least how we hope we're gonna make them work. Okay, what's the plan?
We shortened up those links. They're now on the top. Just tacked in place for now, and then obviously it's just kind of mocked up with the piece we cut off the arm originally.
So now we can still keep the arch coming down, but it can actually line up properly without hitting everything. And it is now gonna be on the outside of where it was before, because if it was on the inside, then it would actually hit the transmission cross brace. It works, and it wouldn't have worked before. So thank you, Kale, for making her work. Next step is to be taking these little guys, and it's gonna be going in there like that. And then we're gonna be able to solve the issue of the arm being at the totally wrong angle and wrong height. Weld her up there and maybe fish plate it, add a little strength. Should be good to go. Right, Bessie?
Yeah, bro.
They look really nice. Should be nice and strong. Look at that flow. For the first time in this truck's history, the arms are finally the proper way, and it looks so much better. And I've got all of my engraving stuff on order, so that'll be showing up, and I'm gonna learn how to engrave, and I'm gonna bring you guys along on that adventure, because I really have no idea how it works, and I'm just gonna dive headfirst right in like I do everything else, and I'm planning on spending a lot of hours engraving. And then Mike at Mob Air is gonna be doing the lowrider style paint job. Did I tell you about that yet? This truck is getting something crazy. A 5th gen front end, obviously. That's kind of normal-ish. It's been done before, right? It is already got these suicide doors, and then this blue interior, which I'm personally wasn't a big fan of when I got it, but when the plan came together for what's gonna happen with this truck, it was perfect. What's gonna happen is this truck is gonna be the mega mini truck. It's gonna be a mini truck on a really large scale. So what a mini truck is it's typically like a small Nissan hardbody or a Toyota pickup, and they'll often have dancing beds on them, which is where the box dances around and does all sorts of stuff. And they have crazy paint jobs. They're on airbags or hydraulics, and there is a lot of culture and history behind it. Stemming from custom vans of the 70s, the mini trucking scene started off in the 80s, gaining enough traction to the point where there were dancing bed competitions, and evolved into the 90s with some absolutely insane transformer style trucks. It's always been about expressing your personal style, and although it's not what it once was, there's still groups like the mini truck era crew, shout out to Patty and Marlon, who represented at SEMA in 2022 and had what I I thought was the best exhibition. The mini truck scene itself has not had a lot of changes over the last 25 or so years, but the auto industry as a whole has kept evolving into the 2010s with the rise of the mall crawler style SEMA trucks. Although over the past few years, there hasn't been much evolution. Enter the Mega Mini Truck. As an expression of my personal style, we are combining an intricate lowrider style paint job, three-wheeling, a dancing bed, and hand-engraved suspension components, fused with the new school mall crawler designs of the 21st century. What we are calling a Mega Mini Truck. Got to the point where these arms are now done and they look really good. However, there's something called the sunk cost fallacy, which is, do you stick with what you have even if it might be wrong, or do you start from the beginning? And in this case, we are starting from the beginning, because if you look here, the arms kind of come in, and on these Dodges, you can't just have two arms. You kind of need a triangular setup there because of the way that the drag link and the track bar shift the vehicle to the left and the right as it goes up and down. You want it to go up and down, but to move forward and backward instead, which is what happens when it's on a triangular link system. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build that. So what we have done is we've taken the axle off of that 2020, the one that was flipped. We've chopped the ears off, and I am currently grinding down the old spring perch and sway bar mount and all of that sort of thing. It's all coming off, and then we're starting from scratch. And I've now got a computer software that Kale's gonna be using to build pieces much like what we have down there, and we're gonna build a whole new setup for the front end. This is all gonna be grinded down. We're gonna actually take it apart. We're gonna shift this so that the pinion angle is proper. Well, we're not going to. We're gonna take it over to the driveline specialists, and they're gonna do that. And we're gonna build new shit, and it's gonna be great. It's kind of annoying to keep going backwards with this thing, but it is what it is in order to actually make it run properly and drive properly, which is what we needed to do. And just like that, beautiful. Totally. Yeah, no, that looks awesome. There's the diff right there. There's nothing on the front end, but when you get to the back end, it has this whole setup on it. So now we're gonna match the front to the back. Front bumper is on, and I'm gonna give her one final cleanup right now. Lower the crutch out of the way, get the hood down. Oh, not trip over these things. And let's take another look. Ooh, pretty. And in some random rental garage in Calgary, we have got the 30-inch wheels, at least 3 of them. The last one's at the shop, and of course, chain smoker, and the M3. Oh, I love these toys, but I can't do much with them right now. It would be pretty sweet to get these wheels back on this truck. Well, I've reached my next problem here, is that I can't load these into the truck myself. I just tried, and I failed miserably. They're too awkward and heavy, so I'm gonna go and ask somebody at one of these houses here. I'm just gonna go knocking on doors, seeing if somebody can help me. I gave him a hand, and he gave me a hand. Yeah, that's no good. Let's do one of... Ooh, pretty. And here's the back end with just a little bit of tire poke.
Was that really necessary?
This is necessary.
I've just given the Mega Mini truck a full detail. Underneath here, it is gorgeous. Spent a lot of time wiping this all down, although it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to get my hands on all parts of this truck so that I understand everything that's got to get done. I also polished the wheels up, and that took a lot of time, but they look good. Right, Rusty? You're just always here, hey, bud? But that's okay. You're pretty cute, so that's all right. I'll deal with it. It's a good boy. You're a little bit stunned, though, aren't you? Are you a little stunned? Yeah, you are. Lots going on, lots to do, but a fair amount done so far, so we'll see where we go from here. Subscribe to watch the whole build, and in the meantime, check out one of these 2 other videos. You will love them.